Oh,
There we go. Now it's there.
Yep, by all means, adjust it to your heart's content. I'm going to adjust it on my end as well because it's a little too loud.
I don't know. I adjusted my volume setting so Firefox is like at 10% and Discord is 100%.
Cool. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the plane, the world of Gur. A world of towering, jagged mountains, deep, dense forests, roiling plains of brown grass that is still alive, technically, filled with bones and roaming tribes of orcish barbarians. The realm of Gur is a dangerous place, one prone to frequent storms, frequent earthquakes, mountains that can swallow nations whole, sandworms that roam vast deserts, and other generally unpleasant things. There are a handful of races and two songs.
I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's this spunky little doot 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 doot, and then there's like this fucking wild ass drum song that's also happening at the same time.
Oh, I think I can kind of hear a little doot 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 beneath the drums. I did not change that. Ah, there we go. I didn't have it on loop. All right, well, let's see how this goes. Right. Handful of races that make this world their home. Very few of which are friendly.
Can you come listeners tell me if I'm crazy?
Tonight, we are going to focus on the most maligned of these races, the smallest of the races, the shortest lived, the shortest in stature. Arguably one of the dumbest, arguably one of the smartest.
You definitely have two. Do you have, like,
really
the demo wiki might have music on it?
As we join a band of travelers making their way in a wagon down a dusty road towards up a switchback trail leading up into the mountains towards the settlement of Gonway Warren.
I'm insane.
You're not.
Among this little band of travelers, we have a wagon pulled by a pair of large boar-like animals with enormous humps on their back, grunting occasionally as they trot contentedly down the path, drawing this large wagon behind them, flanked by other boar riders, goblins in surprisingly well-kept, well-matched sets of armor and weapons. These are a band of Ardgits, goblin warriors that have pledged themselves to the Queen Sabine of goblins, who have vowed to keep travelers safe wherever they may roam. Your party has lost 11 of them on this trip so far. There are 5 remaining. All in all, pretty good odds. In the wagon are a band of... Well, in this realm they're called Delvers. Delvers from the Wasamata Fellowship. Here to answer the call of the Gonway Warren to investigate some strange happenings in the depths of their minds. Who would like to start the night off by describing their character and what they are currently doing in or around the wagon as you all make your way up this rocky road towards the Warren.
Y'all want to draw straws?
I'll go first. I ain't scared of y'all.
Hey.
My character.
Please drag your token onto the screen when you discuss your character.
There we go. My character is a dark green sword. As you can see, she's quite fucking ripped. She does wear chains, but they're like ratty. The what do you call it? The emblem or whatever looks like it's torn from a piece of machinery, like something broke off. Could be a handle, could be like just something that jiggles and makes a thing work. It's a doohickey, and she liked it, and it's hers now. Her teeth are sharp. She's wearing mascara that she doesn't care to fix, so it's just like running down her face. What is she doing? She is playing with two sticks, not two sticks, two stones, flint. Occasionally rubbing them together and snapping them together just to get a small spark. Otherwise, she's like quiet and just looking around. She doesn't really say much, but you've heard her talk before, and she kind of has a really raspy voice, and gets really energetic. So she's kind of when she's gone, she's gone. Otherwise, she's chill. She did present herself. Her name is Jane Doe, and that's about it.
Wonderful. Jane, most wagons feature plenty of dry hay for the comfort of its passengers, and you are sparking stones in the middle of this wagon. I think that calls for our first roll for the night.
Do you think you can
It's a
imitate
dexterity check.
Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Minnie?
So 2d6.
Because we gotta be it's gotta be
2d6,
New York accent.
add your
No,
dexterity.
not 2 seconds, not 30
Okay.
minutes into game. No, I
Okay.
can't.
Okay,
You would ask me this morning, yes.
sorry. Come on.
So that's 6 plus 1, if I'm reading that right, which is a 7.
That is a 7. Mixed results. So, well, to you, what would you qualify as a mixed success?
Well, she's able to make a spark happen, but it's a bit too close to the hay, so she has to hurry up and put it out before everything catches fire. Actually, no. What am I talking about? She actually wants it to catch fire. So
That
she,
sounds about appropriate to me too.
yeah.
So you have been striking at these stones for a while now, and you finally created the spark you wanted. At the same time, igniting the dried hay around your feet in the bottom of the wagon.
Question. How many days have we been traveling together?
I'm going to say it's been like about a week.
Okay, and how many times has Jane lit the wagon on fire?
Jane, how many times have you lit the wagon on fire?
Rolling 1d. I'm rolling 2d6. 7 times.
It's my turn.
All right, so this is the 8th time. Go ahead.
Jane,
Jane, what did we tell you?
I'm going to use prestidigitation, drop down and touch the
hay that they caught to cool it off so that it prevents spreading.
All right, why don't you drag your character out and introduce yourself?
If it will let me.
Good job, Brad.
Thanks, Judy.
Judy.
Judy, you can drag yours out because you're going to be going next.
So I'm
So
Brad,
I'm Brad Jones.
I'm the local
wizardy
type.
type.
I
I have Normally I'm using my staff, but I've got a nice leather jacket, a good fedora hat. It's very stylish, hides my hair. I spend most of my time with my wife. It's really fun. I like looking for magical things, but not so much luck up to now.
All right, and who is your lovely wife who has joined you on this endeavor?
That'll be Judy Jones. Right over here.
Sorry, I'm either not drunk or too drunk for this. I haven't figured it out. Hi, I'm Judy. She is a blonde goblin. Kind of messy blonde hair. It's pulled back into something resembling a ponytail. She's kind of a lighter skin as far as green goes. She's dressed in really loose and wrapped clothes. Mostly built for moving around in.
Awesome. And given that I know that it was more of a player comment than a character comment, how drunk is Judy right now?
Wine mom? Wine mom at 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, so she's got a little wineskin of her own. That's a good way to pass a long travel in a scratchy little wagon.
She's not 6 p.m. Judy, but she is 3 p.m. Judy.
Alright, so Jane has nearly set the wagon on fire again. Brad has quickly moved to intervene, having gotten more accustomed to these random outbursts of impromptu fire pits in their midst. And we've got Judy cheering him on. What else is happening?
Walking on the sun or something?
Please, next goblin, come on down.
This is Jellica Smashmouth. She's a bard.
Jellica Smashmouth.
Yes. She got her name because she likes to punch people. So she does a lot of singing and playing on like this really poorly made looking banjo sort of thing. Might be a banjo, might be a violin, we're not sure. It has strings and it plays some notes. She's dressed in a vest and some long design fabric that's kind of worn as a skirt. She's got ash blonde hair, purple eyes, piercings, and she's kind of a olivey yellow green in her skin tone. She generally plays funny little shanties, makes up songs, and cheers people on as they do what they need to do, but also punches people.
Is she the type of goblin to cheer at the one setting the fire or the ones putting it out?
As long as the fire isn't directed to her, she's cheering them on. But because she's setting fire to the wagon, she's like really getting tired of that shit.
Right, thank you, Jellica. I believe there are 2 more goblins in the carts. How are they reacting to the most recent near ignition of their wagon.
With a wide-eyed stare like just about everything else.
Please drag your token out and introduce yourself.
Hey, I remembered how to drag the token. You know this goblin's been introduced to you, but you can't place the name, and no matter how many times it's asked, the name just doesn't stick. Someone said Bug, and you know what? They're Bug now. And honestly, Bug doesn't care because that's not the worst thing they've been called.
That's incredibly fair.
Extremely pale-skinned. Looks like they've fallen on their face 5 too many times. With wide red eyes. They appear to be wearing chainmail with a cream-colored cloth over the top. All in all, it's a very interesting choice considering it matches their skin tone fairly well. If you didn't look twice, you'd swear they were streaking.
I feel more concerned that they're wearing chainmail of all things than anything else you've described about them.
They're mostly quiet. No one's actually burning right now, so there's no reason to apply their craft. Even if that's kind of not what their craft was supposed to be, but that's what it is. Well, at the end of the day, things are what things are.
Very true, very true. And you look on in wide-eyed fascination, curiosity.
No one's sure if the wide-eyed look is default or an actual expression.
With blank intensity.
It's a very true to token there.
Which brings us to our last delver in the cart.
Well, if nothing else, I think Jane Doe should get some points for initiative. Practicing your craft is something worth pursuing. Also, quick thinking, Brad. Smart work of that gift. This is a rather bulky and muscular but squat, green-skinned goblin. His face is disgustingly symmetrical, with pronounced cheekbones and a really unsettlingly square jawline. A chin that's a little bit too strong looking, and a nose that is perpetually flared, as though in defiance of those who look down from above. Downright unsettling. He was so unfortunate to be born with hair, unlike the lucky few who are blessedly bereft and shiny. Wearing a pair of thick, slightly red, and rather tragically rugged eyebrows. Chad Sworth is possibly the ugliest goblin you've ever seen. He is adorned with chainmail, has a dagger and an axe to his name. He's not really from the local Warrens. He's one of those types who kind of drifts in and out. One of the few who don't really have a clan or a people to call their own anymore. He's rather talkative, speaking in a smooth baritone, really just yucky on the ears.
and surprisingly encouraging.
And surprisingly encouraging. It's his one redeeming quality.
Good points all around, Ugly Chad.
I like to keep my eyes open.
To Chad's praise, Jane, though, gives him a stiff nod and is content for now to put away her sticks, frowning at, what was his name that put out the fire?
Brad.
Brad. Brad.
Fucking Brad.
Don't make me put you in the museum.
Well, Ugly Chad is so comforting to the goblins around him, both in his easy tone of voice and the fact that everyone among you looks so much better than him. I'm gonna give everyone I want to say inspiration. It functions the same as an adversarial token. Adversarial? Yeah, you all got a token that'll give you +1 to a check of your choice.
Do we have is there a place on our character sheets to mark those, or is that a house rule?
Totally a house rule.
Alright. Equipment it is.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna put under coin.
Is it one shared by the whole thing, by the whole party, or?
No, everyone gets one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, then I'm just renaming custom resource to inspiration and put a +1 there.
Oh, okay.
There you go. He was born with such an unfortunate visage, but he is so encouraging. And this is the group of delvers that we will be following tonight. Everyone from different backgrounds. We've all become delvers for different reasons. Some looking for adventure, some looking for something to do, some because it pays well and you get a reliable source of food and income to trade to where you need to go. And some of you are just out on a date night. The boars grunt as they pull you up along the switchback trail, finally leading you into the small little dale where the unassuming village of Gonway rests. The village of Gonway, lying in the foothills of a particularly ragged, jagged set of mountains, doesn't look like much to the outsider's eye. Just a collection of rather grubby-looking houses, kind of stitched together with leather and wood, straw rooftops rather than tile, as you might find in some of the more sophisticated cities elsewhere in Gur. And the few goblins out and about look pretty, well, pathetic. It looks, for all intents and purposes, like almost as though it was designed to be overlooked and dismissed. There's no one to greet you as the wagon trundles into town, and the Ardgits around you start to fan out, some looking incredibly relieved that they survived the trip to the village, others looking put out that they didn't get a chance to test their mettle. They're the strangest of the Ardgits, to be honest. You never quite understand what they're thinking, looking for glory and valor and honor and all that. The wagon trundles its way over to what might pass as a traveler's inn, which is really just a rickety building connected to a long the stable on the side. Out in the yard are a couple smaller version of the humpbacked boars that have pulled the wagon thus far, sniffing about. You hear the yaps of, I would say dogs if this was a very different place. They are not dogs. They are more lizard-like. They are scaly with long tails and spines along their backs. And they're kind of on good terms with goblins. They keep pests out, and they only bite you occasionally, so, not bad. You are met by the local innkeeper, who stares at you as you rumble over. And as the wagon is pulled to a stop, he goes over to a pile of hay, pulls out a pitchfork, shoves a few bales off to the side, and thumps the ground with the butt of his pitchfork. A moment later, a hidden wooden trapdoor is shoved open, leading to a ladder that goes underground. And a head pops up. A rather gruff-looking face, wearing a ragged brown cap on his head. A thick brown smoking stick stuck into the corner of his mouth. Oh, hey, you made it. Good to see you. All right, grab your stuff, come on down. I'll show you around the warren. Come on. Can't leave it open too long, you know the drill. And the goblin disappears back down the ladder hole.
Brad, we should get a puppy for the kids, especially after what they did the last one.
Oh, certainly. Maybe after we're done here.
As you point that out, there's a little tumbleweed composed of 3 of these reptilian puppies, yapping and snapping and biting and dragging, just rolling on by.
Aw, playful scamps. Hustle on over to the hole.
Yep.
Work my way down.
You all hop off the wagon and climb your way down the trapdoor.
I feel like Bug is the last one to leave the top, but somehow mysteriously is the first one on the bottom. Just like like cartoon rules.
Like anytime Bug moves, it's the bouncy little trundle that you see. Like imagine a little like a toddler in 3 layers of winter gear.
That's when you see them move. If this was an animated cartoon, the camera just kind of pans, and Bug always moves off screen.
You see them moving, and then the camera pans faster than they're moving, and then by the time they get to the new scene, they're there.
Love it. So you all make your way down the ladder to find Bug waiting for you on the platform below. As you enter the real Gonway Warren. Goblin Warrens, as you are all familiar with, exist primarily underground. The village positioned atop a warren is often used to distract orcish raiders into either passing them by or focusing their attentions on places where the goblins don't really care if they attack. As you climb down the ladder, you find yourselves in the very top level of a very deep mine shaft. Levels upon levels of wooden platforms and swaying bridges, and metal tracks upon which mine cars go sailing by at dangerous speeds, can all be seen from this entry gangway that you have all climbed down upon. Unlike the village above, the levels here are teeming with goblins. This looks to be a very successful warren, which would explain why they can afford to reach out to delvers of other nearby towns for assistance. There are torches and lamps hanging everywhere, giving the entire mine a very cozy atmosphere. The sense of industriousness, the dim lighting, the lack of guardrails kind of feels like home. And waiting for you on one edge of the gangway, kind of oblivious to goblins moving back and forth past him, is the goblin who poked his head out to greet you all, dressed in a rough spun button up top and brown suspenders. His sleeves are rolled up, exposing very thick forearms. He gives you all a little salute. Glad to see y'all made it in one piece. I'm Foreman Hoffa, working on behalf of Boss Dickie Nix, and welcome to Gonway. I trust you didn't lose too much on the way here.
Just 11, it's fine.
That's 11, that's not bad.
Positively peaceful.
No kidding. And all you delvers, was this a whole group or were there more of you?
We're more. Not anymore.
Them's the way of things. Good to see you, good to see you. This is a good amount. Honestly, I expected a little less. Call me, I'm pleasantly surprised. If you could all follow me this way, mind your step, watch the gap, all that bullshit. And he begins leading you across a gangway, down over some wooden bridges. So first and foremost, I appreciate y'all coming here on behalf of the contract. Yeah, our production quota slowed down quite a bit since we started running into some problems in the bottom of the mines. And to be frank, we're not exactly sure what to do about it.
Well, Frank, I think that's why you date us. Or why you're going to date us.
Have you tried burning it?
You know, that was the first thing we tried. The caves are very flame retardant, though. We were kind of hoping we'd stumble upon one of those vents with the sulfurous, explodey kind of gas, but no such luck. I know.
Dave's still young.
I got a bunch of unions pretty upset at the lack of explosive gas. We're negotiating contracts for their involvement as we speak. Nothing y'all need to worry about. But at the rate things are going, the anarchy barrel that we're harvesting on behalf of Her Majesty's efforts, well, we're not going to be able to meet our quotas, and that's going to put more pressure on her. And no one wants to put pressure on the Queen Bee, obviously. So we thought it best to, get some expert help. Y'all been delving long, or?
Chad just chuckles.
Few years now. It's a good time.
Yes, it was, Judy.
Jane gives two emphatic nods.
Few years, damn, we got a couple of veterans here. Jellica, I saw you light up briefly. Did you have something to add?
No, she just said yeah, it didn't come through, I guess. Am I quiet?
Not terribly so.
Terribly. So the Foreman Hoffa leads you over to a broad platform where there are a couple mine carts resting at the top of some tracks that descend and wheel down into the mine. Nearby, it looks like there's a large lift. No cage attached to it. There appear to be two goblin workers chatting over a series of cranks and levers. Alright, so first things first, let's get to the bottom of the warren and I'll show you where the problems all started.
Chad nods and follows after Foreman. So you mentioned there was some kind of trouble. Do you have any more details than that, or are we walking into this half blind, half caught?
Oh, hot damn, you're hard to look at.
I beg your apology. I beg your pardon.
No, I beg your pardon. That's quite the burden to live with. I had a cousin look like that. They had a rough time of it growing up. My sympathies.
Oh, tell me about it.
Jane will like go onto the platform and immediately just sit down in the center.
The foreman takes up a position, holding on to one of the ropes at the corner of the lift and motions to the two goblins who, once everyone has made their way onto the lift, begin working the cranks, switching their gears, and the lift begins to descend with a sudden jolt that sends it swaying a bit. Can I get a dexterity check from everyone?
Even Jane, who's sitting.
Yes.
Okay, well, I rolled 12.
9.
Um,
7.
let me check that with my. So that's a 13 total.
All right, so a 12 is that would be pretty much a critical success then.
Rolled an 8.
I do like how the chat actually tells you if it's a partial success or a full success.
Oh, I might have to switch to the chat then.
Alright, so it looks like Jellica got a success, Jane got a critical success, Bug, Brad, Chad, and Judy, what'd you get?
I got a 9.
9. That is...
Partial success.
That is a partial success. So,
Spilled my wine.
what I would say happens as you all board this ungainly, unsecured lift that descends down into the mine. Jane, with that critical success, you will be able to raise the partial success of someone nearby into a full success. As you just kind of like reach over and grab hold of someone.
Bug, because they're small and tiny. Fucking, what's the word?
Round.
Yeah.
Round.
So the lift jerks and tilts, and Bug just begins to slide towards the edge. And Jane just reaches over and grabs hold of them. Jellica, with your success, I'm going to say that you can give a +1 to someone. Hint, someone rolled a 9.
I'll give it to them then.
Judy, you nearly fumble your wineskin, but you managed to hold on to it.
Oh. Thank you.
Brad and Chad, tell me, as you both managed to keep your balance, but what else happens since you both rolled only partial successes?
I went to stabilize myself with my staff, and then my staff hit my face.
Alright, take 1 point of damage.
Chad stumbles. He stumbles and he drops some of his gear.
Okay, you stagger over to the edge and you swing to catch your balance. Your backpack kind of shifts off of your shoulder as you quickly adjust your weight. And something goes careening off into the abyss. Let's see, since inventories are kind of wonky, what do you think gets tossed out?
Well, he has a lot of rations, and he has a lot of bits and bobs for adventuring. So those are mostly loose stuff.
So among your rations and bits and bobs, what would probably be the most amusing of those?
You can say he lost his lunch. Lose his lunch going down the roller coaster.
So, Chad, you have a lot of interesting quirks for a goblin. One of them may be that you tend to organize your lunch into a nice little box and, prepare it for eating later on. You kind of organize it within and, make it look appealing. Like there's just something about food that looks good, that makes it taste good.
Such a weird guy.
It's all about the presentation.
Unfortunately, your lunchbox goes careening off of the lift.
Oh no, my presentation!
That's okay. I think I have one of Freddy's lunches still in my bag.
And in the distance, you just hear, "Don't ah!"
Enjoy it!
Followed by a bunch of shouting as moments later you descend a level where there is a goblin miner shaking his fist at you and rubbing his head while another goblin is curiously picking at a box of food that has fallen out of the sky.
Do you need a snack? I have snacks. I keep snacks.
I'm always down for snacks.
Yeah, Brady, Judy is always well prepared. That's one thing I can say, especially for a date night.
Thanks, Brad.
This bit is so ridiculous. Thank you. I love it.
I'm gonna reach into my bag. Do I need to roll? Can I roll to see what I pull out of my bag for snacks?
If you have a snack table, sure. Otherwise,
yeah,
what
I have
would
a
you like
snack
to
table.
pull out?
Well, I want to see if what the level of success is.
Okay, I'm down for it.
Because I feel like this wine mom has a collection of snacks on at the bottom of her bag.
Yeah, I feel like this wouldn't exactly be an attribute test so much as just a straight up
Test.
We'll give you
yeah.
a plus. We'll give you a +2 for being just a mom.
Alright, so that's a 6. So I'm gonna pull out a half-eaten, it's just gonna be a half-eaten chicken nugget.
Chad graciously accepts the half-eaten chicken nugget.
It's got some nibbles out of it, so it's mostly there.
This is rare cuisine.
The travel nugget.
You guys are so generous. It really takes me back. I appreciate it.
You guys are so dumb. Is this the first time you've written the lift? Sit down.
Oh, that makes sense in retrospect. He's gonna take the nugget and nibble on it as he takes a seat.
Jane is gonna just she was holding Bug protectively when they were going down, and once they finally get down, he just rolls Bug away from her.
There's a little thud as the lift reaches one of the lower platforms, and the foreman leads the way onto the gangplank.
As Bug rolls away, Bug just, like a weevil, wobbles up.
So, out of curiosity, you being delvers and all, seeing the world, going out, doing things, what kind of things have y'all done? Where have you been? I've been part of the war and born and bred here. Seen a couple raids here and there, but otherwise, never really leave home much.
Oh, we don't do much with raids. We're really good with traps, though. Right, Brad?
That's right, Judy. Traps are the best way to go. You hurt them, they don't see you, you live longer.
I can really get behind that. We use a couple traps here and there to keep some of the rodents out, but, we never really thought about getting bigger.
There's always room for improvement.
Always do.
Yeah, I tell my unions that all the time, especially when they slow down and decide to take an unauthorized break. There's always room for improvement.
Gosh, that makes me wish that we had that kind of foresight back at rock bottom. Never saw the Bad Moon Clan coming. Weren't unionized. They came in and
shit.
Yeah, kicked us over like a tumbleweed. Been on the road ever since.
Is that what happened to your face?
No, born like that. Very, very much cursed from birth, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. You guys are good people.
You should try applying fire.
Fire doesn't fix everything.
Fire fixes everything. And she stands up quickly, brushing her long dress before stumping her way to Brad. Fire fixes everything.
You almost set that boy on fire like 10 times already. Nothing's ever happened. Ugly Chad's just ugly and it's trying to be ugly.
It's your fault that he's not fixed.
You could try again.
He walks over to Chad and squeezes his chin. Look at his face. Don't you feel sorrow?
I'll place my hand on Jane Doe's shoulder and slowly go to stand.
I just feel queasy.
Head kind of low. He shakes his head. If there's anything that I've learned in my many, many solitary years wandering the roads, it's that some things are the way they are for a reason. Some people are meant to be horrifyingly ugly.
Some people live too close to demon-worshipping bad moons, and what can you do? Bad juju gets in the air, gets in the ground.
What can you do but keep walking?
Yeah.
Move forward, onwards and downwards.
She puts both of her hands on either side of Chad's face. You are a beautiful, ugly soul. I swear to you, I will burn you and make you beautiful at the end of this journey. I will show you the magic of fire. Its cleansing power. You will be reborn.
Alright, you're like a 10, and I need you to just pull it back to a 6.5, maybe.
Well, you might be dead. Might be better that way. Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, that's what the fates decide then. Who am I to stand in the way?
Sometimes dead is better.
She gives a creepy smile, 2 small, appreciative smacks to Chad's chin and leaves him be.
Points for intensity. Absolutely knocking it out of the park with that passion.
The foreman guides you down into not quite the bottommost level. Before he turns into a cave that has been well bracketed, well supported by wooden supports placed by the Goblin crews. You don't get very far down it. before you start to come to an area of the mine that looks like it's been kind of boarded up a little. Like there are chains across one of the support openings that leads deeper into the mine. And it's here that the foreman pauses and plants his hands on his hips. There are a handful of other goblins standing around, all of them armed with picks or pikes and some fairly lightweight metal armor that they've kind of cobbled together. And they all look very nervous. But they all try to stand a little straighter as the foreman approaches with the professional delvers. All right, so this right here is the path that leads to the mine. So, as I've mentioned, we tend to harvest Anarchy Barrel here. It's good stuff. It's a little volatile, so sometimes the harvest gets a little
Explosive?
Yeah, well, what we lack in explosive gas, we can make up for with, misplaced picking.
Ooh.
Hey, explosion is like 2 steps away from fire.
Yeah, unfortunately, Anarchy Barrel doesn't really burn, so the explosions are more, shrapnel everywhere rather than actual fire. Hence the problems with the unions I mentioned.
You're killing me here.
Yeah, all right. And plus, when Anarchy Barrel explodes, it breaks into splinters, and, splinters of Anarchy Barrel, they're okay. The artificers, the builders, they can do things with them, but it's the big chunks that they really want. So anyway, one day when one of the unions was walking their way down near the end of the mine, they misstruck. There was a bit of a detonation, and it revealed a side passage we hadn't expected to find. So naturally, they started to head in to see what they could find, and they never came back. So we sent in another union to investigate what happened to the first union, and they never came back. So we sent in a third union to figure out what happened to the other 2. And good.
Did they come back?
I'm sensing a pattern.
Yeah, no, only one of them did. So he comes
Hey.
running back down. He starts shouting about, actually, no, he didn't shout at all. He was just stun-faced, like, couldn't talk. There was something wrong with him. Wasn't sure what to make of that, so we sent him over to the infirmary. He's still there recovering. And we kind of warded off the mine and decided that, you know what, there's better places to dig, other places in the Warren, and we'd be fine just kind of ignoring this place for now. Then stuff started to go missing, then the bodies started appearing nearby, and we realized that there might be some trouble that we ought to deal with.
Huh. I've never seen ignoring it and pretending it never happened to not work. That's usually the go-to strategy for these things.
Yeah, you usually just toss some dirt on it, you walk away, everything's good, people forget.
Throw a blanket on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Something foul was afoot, I think.
Terrible. Horrible, no good even.
Tasty, possibly.
And one of the problems is that this tunnel, man, the Anarchy Barrel deposits are, they're pretty good. Like, we only hit the tip of the vein at the end of this tunnel, so if we can open it back up again, oh, we'll be back on track in no time. But like I said, we can't really open it up until we figure what the hell is going on with all the bodies and the missing goblins and everything. So that's where you come in, the professionals, hey! Here to solve the problems.
And have a truly romantic evening.
And never truly. Well, I don't know if I go that far. It is a cave, you know.
Romance is where you make it.
That's what my third ex-wife told me. I should have taken it more seriously.
You looking for a fourth? You like fire?
He scrutinizes you a little bit.
She's very intense.
Give me a charisma check.
That's a positive thing.
I'm ordained.
I'm ordained.
Judy definitely is, though I thought that Jane was going to go after Ugly Chad over here, the way she's been fawning and promising to
Oh God,
make
no.
it ugly.
Have you seen him? Also, I made a 7.
Can I use that? What is 8 a success or 9 a success?
10.
10.
10 success. I don't have enough adversity.
I will
I'm not gonna help
spend an adversity on this nonsense.
I'm gonna also spend an adversity to Let's do it.
Okay, that pushes him up to a 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the foreman is kind of rubbing his chin and looking you over. Yeah, so, how much can you bench?
I can bench probably everybody in his goddamn group.
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk before you leave. Might have some things in common, you know? I'll buy you a drink.
She goes over and just like wetly kisses him on the lips, just completely takes over and dominates him.
Oh, hey, oh, you're one of those. Oh, you're like my second ex-wife. Holy. Yeah, I ain't say stop, but, you know, it is a public place and all. Technically on the job, even.
And
You're on the job. But we don't get our union mandated break until Cat starts counting on his fingers, and I don't think he knows what time it is. No, that's an 8.
Evening.
I mean, that's how we got Fred and Freddy.
We can double date in the mines.
That is indeed how we got Fred and Freddy.
Okay, well, you know, let's take it slow. You know, one kiss for now. I'm down with that. Are you good with that? I'm down with that.
Afraid of a commitment.
Well, hey, I promised to drink, didn't I? I'm a man of my word.
You better have a good drink for me when I'm out of here.
Better not die.
For you, babe, the best.
She gives him a wink.
Hey. Worth noting, he still hasn't removed that cigar.
What, is she gonna be afraid of Ash?
Right?
Just added to the appeal. His breath smells like smoke. Right, so anything I can get you before you get started? Anything you need?
Chad's gonna pat himself down.
You know, maybe top a girl off. I'm gonna hold up my wineskin.
Oh, sure, you need some water? I can get that for you. Whoa, that does not smell like water.
It's not water.
That is not water.
What? Don't you drink water?
Yes.
Hey, you, and he points to the nearest guardsman. I need you to get some sweet water. The sweetest of the sweet waters.
Make it a little spicy. She likes it that way.
Thanks, Brad.
You're welcome,
Spicy
Judy.
sweet water. Do what the man and woman says. You know, hurry. Get a move on. Go! And the guard goblin goes scampering off to retrieve a replacement wineskin for you that is more full than empty. All right, one drink on the way. Anything else?
You got anything resembling a map?
We've got some maps of the mines here, but with this particular leg, it kind of just weaves off and When you see the big gaping hole in the wall, that's where the trouble begins.
All right, follow the path, gaping hole, keep on going. Gotcha.
So there's not going to be any light down there. You got some grease? I mean, I've got grease. But I like my grease.
I pull out my my staff and I touch the top of it and it starts to glow as I cast light on it.
Jane hisses. It's
Not
fire.
all- We don't need fire, especially when we're coming up against arcane barrels. Why are you gonna mess with that?
You absolute goddamn coward.
Hey,
It's
Hey,
a
no.
romantic date night, not a suicide mission. Get with the plan, so you can be with your man.
good one, Brad.
Thanks, Judy.
I'm gonna cut my brow and peer into the dark. Can we see in the dark? Is this D&D rules?
Yeah. I mean, these are they're carryovers. So, do you goblins have dark vision?
Yeah.
I would assume so, and Brad has also lit up his staff and is holding it out, so he's casting more light.
So there is a little ways down this mine that is dark, and it's kind of lit up by Brad's staff. In the distance, you can see almost like a faint glow coming from like around a corner. Very faint, but it looks like the passage actually twists a little bit out of sight. You can kind of see, like, on some of the braces there are lanterns hanging that are not lit.
Well, I still want grease. You can never have enough grease.
Can't you harvest it from in your own head?
I'd rather burn you last.
Now, I don't know about grease. I got some lantern oil here in my pocket.
I suppose lantern oil will work. It doesn't burn nearly as long.
He pulls a little tin of lantern oil from one of the pockets in his pants and holds it out to you.
And she will stuff it in her, between her cleavage.
Pull like a little tunnel over to the nearest unlit lantern, assuming one's not too far in.
I would say there's probably maybe about 15 feet down the path. There's another grace with an unlit lantern.
Pull out a staff or use a staff that no one remembers them having, but that makes sense that they have it, and just use the tip to like bring down the lantern. Fiddle with the lantern a little bit, and when they stand back up, it's hanging off the end of their staff and lit. And everything looks right. The color, the lantern's glowing the right color and all that good stuff, and
Where the hell did that 4-foot goblin hide that 5-foot pole?
We don't ask questions like that.
Ah,
Bug works in mysterious ways.
I want
Yeah.
to top bug.
delve of mysteries. I gotcha.
ironically, if Bug had answered the question of how long have you been doing this, longer than anyone would have expected, would be the answer.
Bug is secretly like 80 years old.
I figured a tie-in to like the background is like, yeah, it's a god of knowledge, but the god's pissed off, so no one remembers you.
Ooh. The goblin that scampered away for the wine skin comes back and presents it to Judy.
Thank you.
No problem.
Let's see.
Alright.
Is everyone geared up? Does everyone have Weapons, armor, shields. Do you have any shields?
So you can see, I did fail to mention, I think so, that Jane is wearing like a long dress with some bottles, actually plenty of bottles attached to her waist. You already know she has oil and grease. She's just asking for more because she likes having that on hand. I wonder why.
God forbid she ever sparks.
And she does have like two good sized daggers with her, so she just kind of waves her hand at Chad when he mentions gearing up.
So generally, when it comes to arms and armor, I'll assume that you guys have whatever it is you need. But if there's something that you feel like your character wouldn't have on them but might actually want, feel free to request it. At the question of shields, the foreman kind of rubs his chin. Shields proper? Not really, but you can borrow one of those. And he points to one of the guard goblins who is carrying a oversized pot lid for a shield.
Perfect. I'll go relieve him of that.
You look like you know what you're doing with it, so he promptly passes it over without a word.
Much obliged. I'll be sure to return it, if we live.
Appreciated.
You're a weird guy, but you're all right, Chad.
Do what I can where I can.
Right, well, this is where I leave you to it. When you get back, just, ask to see me, and one of the guys here, they'll go find me and bring me down, and, good luck. Hope you make it out alive.
Oh,
Hope you
is
make
there-
it out alive.
is there anything?
Pain.
Is there anything that we might need to bring back?
Other than your
Uh,
girlfriend.
I mean, that'd be appreciated. But honestly, you bring yourselves back, you're already one up over any of the goblins I got around here. Find anything interesting, anything that might help us expand the mine, that all helps too.
Right on.
And he gives you all a little salute as he turns and trundles off.
Chad's gonna roll his shoulders and the spearhead can start marching forward. All right, let's make sure Bean gets her quota met. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Let's go.
Always.
When you say that, Chad, all the guard goblins around just echo in disharmony. For the queen, for the queen, for the queen.
For the queen.
For the queen! And I strum on my really shitty guitar.
All right, you all head down the tunnel into the darkness. I'm going to call a quick break so I can refresh my water because, oh god, my throat is killing me.
Yeah,
You
that's
talking too much
that.
shit?
I made Zara for tonight. It's real good.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy this little magically traumatized bean.
I like your traumatized Bean. They look like they've seen some shit.
Yes.
I like that everyone has a shtick.
Shticks are good. When you're playing a 1-off, 2-off, and it's supposed to be wacky, you gotta kind of lean into the shtick. It is not cool enough in this one.
So I hope I get more chances to subtly use cleric spells.
Oh? Is that like a feature or just a shtick?
Just a snick.
I love that for you.
Like, in the background, the real reason why we had like 5 survivors is because everyone who dies in my presence gets +1 to their saving throws.
I wish I actually had a really shitty singing voice, but I don't.
Just squash your larynx.
I really don't want to fuck my larynx up.
Just
It's
pretend
fun.
just pretend to be Dr. Girlfriend. Add a little rasp. It'll be fine. I'm not
Put a
as
little
good as
stank on it.
Yeah, I work tomorrow. I don't have a weekend to recover.
I was gonna say that's gonna be like the vocal equivalent of the leg day and 2 days later video.
You'll make the DM very uncomfortable.
Oh man.
That's a fun voice to do. I love doing that voice.
Also, despite carrying a light, they still manage to like get to the next scene before everybody else,
Yes.
and it's just like hand waved. They get to that light at the end. It's around bend, and it's Bug.
Bug's a great scout. It's those big peepers of theirs.
It's like they're seeing through me.
Oh, that munchkin was full of jelly. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Who puts jelly in a munchkin? They're supposed to be solid.
Was it
No, don't put
Duncan.
Ugh.
Dunkin' Jelly Munchkins.
I'll eat the jelly munchkins if you don't want them.
You're gonna have to.
Is it the plain raspberry ones?
With the frost, with the powder.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not even a fancy lemon.
Alright, I am back. My voice is probably going to be coming and going throughout the rest of the night.
Drink some ginger.
I do not have any.
Take a whole ginger root and squeeze it till the juice comes out and drink it.
Got me, honey.
Oh, I should make myself some hot tea.
I was gonna say hot tea with like a heaping spoonful of honey.
Yeah,
Even if it's just hot water with honey.
probably at some point tonight.
Oh, my feelings are away.
Alright, switching up the music a little bit.
Sad.
Anyone step away or is everyone still here?
Still
Really, yeah.
Here.
You came to God, and you stayed to him.
Okay, so our intrepid group of delvers head down the Anarchy Barrel Mine Passage. You can see between the braces supporting the passage are the rough-hewn walls showing signs of digging and excavating, occasional little hollows that have been scraped out. As you proceed further down the mine, you start to approach you start to get closer and closer to that distant glow. Eventually, you turn a corner and you find the source of the glow. scattered patches of jutting gemstones emerging from the walls as though growing like some invasive lichen. These are unharvested anarchy barrel, growing from small patches scattered here and there about the tunnel, where it looks like the goblins gave up on their excavations. A little further on, and you see why, as you come to an area that, while the tunnel continues past it, this area looks to have been artificially widened, blasted even. And there's a large jagged hole in the wall, through which brighter light can be seen.
Enter the cavern, and Bug is already there.
As the delvers approach and peek into this offshoot, you find Bug is already standing ahead of you.
Anything weird? Anything you care about here?
This is a huge load here. Weird that they just give up and stop digging. It's easy pickings.
You ask if there's anything weird, and you can roll a wisdom check, since wisdom is perception.
Also, DM, can I use discern realities?
Yeah, that's the one. Discern realities is this version of perception.
6 total.
I suppose I will also discern realities.
Okay. So in this area, there's not really a drawback to not noticing something that I can think of. With a failure, you don't really see anything worth investigating. Nothing that seems particularly weird. Let me see. Who got actual failures? Jellica and was it Jane? You got a 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as the party kind of like ventures in here, you're completely oblivious to a growth of anarchy barrel that you have paused beside. That is blinking erratically. It looks like there's a wide crack through it. The glow of it has kind of been drowned out by the glow of the other unharvested anarchy barrel in the chamber. This is, yeah, we'll find out what's going to happen in a second.
I will mention my 7 lets me ask one of those questions on the discern realities thing.
Yeah, what's your question?
I think my question would be, what should I be on the lookout for?
So, Bug, with a partial success, this is going to balance with Judy's success. Judy, you see something in time to, like, grab Brad and maybe shout a warning. Bug, you recognize a damaged anarchy barrel formation that is just about to blow right before it blows. That fractured, erratically glowing piece of anarchy barrel suddenly detonates. Jellica and Jane, you are both nearby when it blows, so you both take 1 piercing damage as pieces of the Anarchy barrel scrape and kind of cut your flesh. Bug, you do manage to kind of dive roll to safety, and Judy, you've acted quick enough to kind of grab whoever's nearby to pull them away. With that 11,
Fuck.
uh-oh. Oh, interesting.
So I just rolled a 1d4 and it was a 1.
Okay, and add that many uses to your Burning Brand if active. Take that result forward to summon your Burning Brand. So by taking it forward means you get to add it to that next roll. Or reduce the damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna just reduce the damage.
Alright, there's a flash of fire that actually consumes the shrapnel, and you emerge unscathed.
Fucking hells.
Judy, as everyone is kind of dealing with this leftover mining accident, some things you notice. So this cavern, it does extend. There is a tunnel leading off it on the other side of it. You do notice kind of just kind of like tossed in a corner amongst some rough rubble. You see a goblin arm just kind of limply hanging out. Looks like a body might have been just casually tossed over into that corner on the far side of this chamber.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Alright, you head over to this body, which is, as mentioned, on the far side of the chamber, near the tunnel that continues beyond this chamber. And you find, this is a dead goblin. By his general state of being, it looks like he's been dead for a while. Interestingly enough, his body seems to have been stripped. Like, he's still wearing clothes, but like belts, any tools, any pouches, a lot of things you would expect a miner to have are missing.
Someone took all his stuff.
Oh, this is Booty Bear.
That's weird.
You think maybe one of the people who came before us?
Could be.
I mean, if they did that, they had to be really hot up.
Hey GM, Foreman, I got a question.
What's up?
So, Speak with Dead it'll answer 3 questions with the best knowledge it had in life and the knowledge it gained in death. Is that like, it's sitting there, the spirit's been sitting there, like, watching things go by? Or, falling to my death earth? Or yes, to both?
That is a good question. Also, it's hilarious that you have Speak with Dead.
Yeah. Turns out when you're making a knowledge-based cleric, and a secret-based cleric, that's one of the obvious choices.
Dead men sometimes tell tales.
So, I'm going to say that the knowledge it gained in death has more to do with the circumstances surrounding its death. Maybe a little carryover, but it's not like his spirit has been hanging out.
Okay, because then maybe we should find somebody from like the second or third group before I pop that spell off then.
Makes
We
sense.
could. If if there are any other bodies.
What was that?
If there are any other bodies to be found.
Well, the other foreman did mention bodies showing up, so.
And that he did.
So there should be at least 2 or 3.
Entirely possible.
Did he say how many in a group had come before this group? Or is it just like a group of people? We said, a crew down.
He
said it was a union.
Okay.
So unions tend to be small groups of goblins anywhere between like as small as 5 or as large as 15.
Okay.
Last question, this is a situational awareness question.
Sure.
Does he look like he was going into the cave when he fell, or was he running back? Like, which direction is his head going?
The way that he's kind of situated amongst those rocks doesn't look like he was running at all. It almost looks like he was just kind of tossed there.
Well, Jane's knowledge of fiery and some explosion would probably help her know if other things here have exploded, and if this body has any signs of explosion.
Yeah, I'd say I can give that to you without a check, since you know explosions, you know scorch marks, you know the signs. You don't see any signs of burns on this corpse.
And then guess the obvious, any slashes, any signs of monsters they're gonna have to end up dealing with.
Oh, that would probably be another discern realities roll.
Okay, I can do that. I'm gonna do that with wisdom. It's a 9 on die. Plus wisdom is 11.
Okay, pure success. So, as you kind of look around the area and kind of poke at the body, looking for burn signs, you don't find any signs of burning, but you find a lot of gashes. Like, this guy was stabbed to death, it looks like. And even though it's been a couple weeks since this likely happened based on the timeline the foreman provided you all with, you can see that the ground does look like there's been recent traffic. Like, it does look like something has been moving around in this area and moving through the tunnel that is your team was approaching on the far side that you have yet to go down. Looking at the footsteps, well, it's hard to. You might not. How much does Jane know about just general monsters in nature?
So she's hunting a dragon.
Oh, shit.
Well, as you know, what her motivation is.
A great worm.
Yes. So she knows a bit about, general about monsters. Maybe she doesn't know like all their habitats and, all that good stuff. But she would have heard a bit about this and this and that.
Okay, I would say that what footsteps you can make out don't look like reptilian footsteps. They don't look like goblin tracks either. You're not entirely sure what they are. It seems like it's one of those areas where it brushes up against your expertise, but you're kind of focused on the worms and the kind of monsters that live in the areas where you might pursue them. These don't seem similar to the creatures that live in those habitats.
Okay. So in that case, Jane's gonna point out. So we got some kind of footsteps here. I don't know what the hell this is. Something else might already live down here. Something else that can stab a thing. As she like pokes her finger into the stab holes.
Well, there's lots of monsters that live inside of caves.
Not all of them can stab. As she continues fingering the stab hole.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it had a knife?
As the conversation like goes on and meanders about, Buck will pipe up. We could ask him.
We can?
That would be very convenient. But he's dead.
Yeah, I like you, but you're kind of talking crazy right now, bro. Even for me.
Bug toddles over and like sits up the goblin corpse. Let's see if I can like actually cast this, because new page, new system, who this?
Yeah, with a cleric and your spells, you kind of have to like invoke the spell, don't you?
I'm not entirely sure, because I have like prepared stuff and super prepared stuff.
Let's see here.
I mean, there's probably going to be a bit of like some, not necessarily somatic, but like gestures to go with it, which, because bug is bug and I'm glitching the system, just basically like slapping around until he starts answering.
When you unleash a spell granted by your deity, roll plus
I
wisdom.
pressed a button. That's not the right button. I hit that button.
Yeah, so you're using the cast a spell action, so you need to
Roll plus
roll.
wisdom. So on a 7 to 9, you're a partial failure. Means you have to choose whether you draw unwelcome attention or put yourself into a spot. Your casting distances you from your deity, or the spell is revoked by your deity. All right, so yeah, a roll plus wisdom.
Does this auto roll? Yes.
Ooh, okay. So you are able to cast your Speak with Dead spell. But there is a consequence.
I have a feeling that I've got a really hate relationship with the deity in charge here, so I'm gonna like, I can't cast that again until I chat with the nuisance.
Okay. Okay. Your god is called the Nuisance.
It's a nice one.
I like that one.
The nuisance.
You get the sensation as you cast this spell that you reached out to your deity at a very inopportune time. Kind of like, when you're knocking on your buddy's door and they're in the bathroom and it's just very awkward and like you're calling them and they don't want to pick up the phone, and yeah, you get that impression of like, not now, and it shuts off access to that spell.
You got bitch buttoned.
You got muted.
I still open the door and I take the thing from their stairs anyway, because ditto.
All right, so you get 3 questions.
No, that choice. So that choice is a bad choice because the spell is revoked.
After it's cast.
You cannot cast a spell again.
Oh yeah, never mind. I misread it. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a flat denial unless it was an actual failure. The writing on it is a little iffy.
Yeah, it could be worded better.
Yeah. All right, so you still get 3 questions. As your spell takes hold, the goblin underneath you gives a rattling intake of breath as its head just kind of like lolls over to the side.
He's alive!
Oh, that's unfair.
Oh,
No, it's not.
I agree, Brad.
Ew. Corpsey.
Double checking with.
It's almost
with
as
one.
bad as Chad.
We're not going to have a.
I
We're only nice and lucky.
We're not going to have a D&D moment, whereas else other people babbling questions interfered. I get 3 questions, correct?
Any 3 questions you pose to it.
Damn, they wrote in
They wrote it in.
That's some bullshit.
Part of me wants to feel like that's written to the spell because it's happened like 6 dozen times.
Oh yeah.
The god said, "Fuck it," and produced an errata.
I ignored the nuisance until they said fine, and they put the little caveat in.
All right, you get 3 questions.
What kind of creature killed you?
It was a bloody script. Nasty creatures. Vermin. I'll allow anyone to roll like a intelligence check to see if the name sounds remotely familiar.
So, bloody creatures, what?
And say the bloody script.
Bloody script.
Okay.
Oh no.
Snake eyes.
So wait, a wisdom check?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spout lore. I like that.
Okay,
That's what it's called.
I am also going to roll an intelligence check to remember to see if I know what a bloody script is. It's not bad.
Well, you know bloody is a curse.
Yeah, that's the obvious part.
Scrit is probably a monster. Alright, so partial successes. I'm going to say that those of you who got those partial successes have heard of the name before. It's not a common monster where you guys came from, but it feels like you've heard it in stories. Brad, you're probably the source of knowledge for Judy's partial success on this, as you've mentioned this before. But in the Warren where you grew up, yeah, you know of the Skrit. The Skrit they're a race that's problematic for goblins in some of the warrens that go deep underground. The Skrit, they live underground. They're attracted to shiny things. They tend to be very violent. They're intelligent in a way, but they're kind of nasty creatures. They like to stab things. They like to poison things. They've got some. They're nasty little beasts. They're not that common, but yeah, some warrens do dig a little too deep and come across skit caverns that cause problems.
Okay, so you want to look at what Spout Lore does, because you can get specific information outside of that.
No, it just says
If you're saying something, you're muted.
Yeah, I was talking to Sam. Sam was like, "You get more for spout lore," and I said, "No, the GM will only tell you something interesting. It's on you to make it useful." So.
Yeah. Normally, spout lore is you're gonna say something about it, and then he was telling you that there's stuff that I had told you about it.
Okay, I'm not parsing what you're saying. I'm telling you that that's exactly what it's written. He did exactly what he was written.
Okay. So I'll say, oh yeah, Crit. Nasty buggers. I look over at Jane. They'd love you.
Why?
Well, you can't help yourself but make shiny light. They like shiny light. They also like to stab with shiny metal.
Should I make fire?
I mean, if you want to get their attention or attack you, sure, do that.
If we're down here to kill things, we might as well get this over with.
We're here to find out what's going on and get stuff done when we can. We're not here to commit suicide.
Are they immune to fire?
Not much is immune to fire. You gotta remember, they might have greater numbers, especially because multiple ones came down here, and only a couple guys made it back. And they couldn't tell people that it was Sprit that done the attack.
Then let's go about quiet like that.
No lighting fires.
Listen.
In the lull between talk back and forth, Bud will mention, I still have 2 more questions, and point at the group to not ask the group a question.
DM.
Yo.
I rolled for spout lore and I got a complication. Are we?
Oh. What kind of complications come with spout lore?
It doesn't mention what happens on a failure.
Okay. I have some ideas. Yeah, as Brad is explaining that fire is a really bad idea, it suddenly occurs to you that, yeah, you're pretty sure you've heard of Scrid, and fire is actually super effective against them. Like, those things hate fire. Like, they've got beady little black eyes, really sensitive to light, like... Yeah, no, fire's good.
Just mull over this idea that Jane Doe is putting together. Might make some bad decisions later. We'll see.
You got it.
I mean, you can ask him if he died here or if he was dragged here. That's one thing I can think of.
Maybe he knows where they came from, which direction, how many there were.
I will ask the corpse if he knows how many attacked him and his fellows.
Well, it was about 5 of them that took us out. The others, they managed to chase them deeper into the tunnels, but they got me pretty quickly. I was never the best of fighters. Think that's why my union shoved me in front of them first. Bastards.
Bud will consolingly pat his shoulder.
Appreciate the sympathy.
And Foreman, I'm guessing that the cave we're in is straightforward as the image appears.
More or less. There's not like a bright light at the end of the tunnel. But there is a tunnel that extends beyond this cave deeper into the mountainside.
One last question for the Foreman. If, like in the D&D movie, I don't ask my third question, will this poor sod just sit here?
Yes. That movie did Speak with Dead so well, I am using that as inspiration for all Speak with Dead encounters.
God, I'm getting a cleric.
Bug will glance at the party again to see if there's anybody else popping up with suggestions.
Did they come from a specific direction?
Well, there's only one direction that he knows of right now.
Oh.
He's missing a lot of his gear. Maybe that's what's asking about.
Yeah, why is he buck naked?
I do believe the Foreman went over the fact that I would know, well, he's not just spectating the sight of his corpse, so Bug would know potentially that too far after the action of death to get that answer.
I mean, they could have stripped him while he was still up and dying. He did say they pushed him down.
If you're pushing somebody down to get away, you don't double back to grab someone's gear. If I push you down in front of me, I'm not going to run back and make sure to take your wife.
I mean, that might be true, but you don't necessarily die all that fast. So
you do if you get stabbed, as she continues fingering the stab hole.
You mind that it's awfully disrespectful.
Shut up.
I'm dead here.
I'm sorry she ain't got no respect.
She's a little intense. Bug, maybe ask him if the script said anything? Or did anything to suggest why they might be coming after the union that went here. Why attack now?
I mean, they dug too deep. That's what happens. Dig a little too deep, the script will show up.
Does he prefer apples or oranges?
As Bud considers all these options, last question for me. I'm guessing if Bug bites it, then all the Bug's magic will fizzle.
Maybe, maybe not.
Deliberately not answer ask the last question.
You know, as a magically traumatized waif of a goblin, that's something I'm willing to risk. Bug turns to the corpse. I will have a third question for you later. And trundles off down the path.
Whoa, wait. Hey.
Oh, well, shit.
What are you doing,
Bug?
Ask the question now. We'll learn
something.
Both just trundle off down the tunnel.
Bug
But do you got any questions?
turns around and makes a statement. His union members pushed him as a meat shield in front of them. he died, and everyone else went down this cavern, this tunnel. Unless something comes back by while he's aware, I don't think there's new information.
Then why are you making him suffer?
Because something might come back by here while we're away.
I mean, if you already said there's only one way we can go, they gotta get past us for him to see. If they get past us, we're already dead. Why are you doing this?
What do you care?
If my union rep hadn't shoved me in front of him, I'd go report you.
Give a dead goblin some dignity. It might be you soon.
Some of us can only be so lucky. Is there like a corner or something around the tunnel, or?
Oh, it extends far deeper into the mountain.
So it's like a straightaway?
It curves. You can see occasional flickering lights of anarchy barrel deposits. But yeah, it does wind deeper. And unlike the goblin tunnels, which have the wooden bracing showing that they've like mined it out, this tunnel looks more natural.
I'm gonna follow after Bug.
I guess we're following Bug.
Just because it's straight away here doesn't mean that just down around the corner there's not a Y.
Can you at least set me up?
I'll set you up.
DM, I did.
Oh, I thought you were sitting on top of him before.
No, I sat him up.
Ah,
so,
okay.
And, like, did the whole to his cheeks to cast spells.
Ah, my bad. Yeah, so he's just kind of like sitting against the rock wall, head
It's
lolling.
Like, it's Weekend at Bernie's.
Pretty much.
Since he figures he's going to be here a while, he moves like one hand and begins poking at the wounds in his chest. All right, so what's the Union doing?
We're traveling, going down.
Heading
Moving
down.
forward?
Yep.
All right. With your semi-resurrected corpse buddy guarding your rear, the Delvers move deeper down into this tunnel, following the winding path deeper into the mountain. It is, as mentioned, it looks like a natural formation. There are large jutting crystals of anarchy barrel sporadically giving flickering light around you. Even those of you who don't have very much experience mining could tell that these things would be worth a fortune if the goblins of the Gonway Warren were able to harvest them. But because of the presence of the mysterious Skrit, chances are they're not going to be able to gain any ground anytime soon. After about 5 minutes or so of walking, you start to feel a breeze coming from up ahead. And after a little more walking, you turn a corner and the tunnel opens up into a vast cavern with some very curious formations within. as you pause at the exit to this tunnel, inside of this cavern, lit from above and below by outcroppings of Anarchy Barrel, you see signs of architecture, of long buried ruins of something that definitely does not look like it was made by goblins. These structures are stone and solid and somewhat imposing. But judging by the cracks and the crumbling exteriors, it looks like this place has been abandoned and in a state of decay for a very, very long time.
So romantic.
Yes, it is, Judy.
I gotta say, I love how transparent my token is.
It's the play of the anarchy light just glaring off of Bug's alabaster flesh.
Those don't look like stalactites. What do you suppose this is?
I'm gonna attempt a spout war because deity of secrets and all that.
Oh, going to call upon the nuisance for some insight?
Well, like, this sounds like something that I've been sent on an errand to go pick up and find. So it might be a thing that I know a little bit about.
So something interesting. I think spout lore will be drawn from your experience and intelligence. But I believe you do have an action called Divine Guidance where you could reach out to the nuisance to get some lore that pertains to their domain. Useful knowledge or a boon?
I will aim this towards, hey, this one of your lost things, while banging on the goddamn door, because their door, not a door here, because
The metaphysical door.
that is literally our relationship. You're not giving me a choice in helping you, but I'm gonna be as quickly as I can while I do so.
And somehow that lives up to the precepts of the nuisance's religion. Okay.
Is that roll or?
No, I think that's just saying like what kind of role it's going to be. So yeah, you can petition your god. Yeah, roll plus wisdom.
Yeah, 11.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The power of the nuisance flows through you, and for a moment your pupils dilates to the edge of your irises as you feel the touch of divine peer through you. If the nuisance really is divine. There's a lot of questions there, but you don't ask.
It's close enough.
I have a question when y'all have a second. When Foreman has a second.
All right, we'll circle back to you in a second. This deity you feel their presence, you feel them kind of take stock of this area. This is the nuisance. You get the impression of a knowing nod. This is one of the secret places in Gur. Whoever lived here, whoever built this place, they're not around anymore. This place has been left to whatever vagabonds and other creatures have moved in to make use of its shelter underground. But the people who live here, they tried to do some great things. They accomplished some great things. And some of those great things still linger in these forgotten places. And then the nuisance abruptly leaves and your eyes return to normal.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
And then proceeds to relay said information about said ruins.
Huh. So whatever this place is, it's, well, it used to be important.
Probably means there's magic here. Time to go looking.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Technically, great things could just be indoor plumbing. It's old enough.
I'm gonna ask everyone a mechanics question. On your sheets, do you have undertake a perilous journey in your special moves?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should do that. That might help us, having a formal scout probably help us if we need any scripts.
One to scout, one to be quartermaster.
I'm gonna assume we don't care about quartermaster too much, but scout would be really helpful.
I'm built for scouting.
It's like the formal party roles in Dungeon World.
Yeah.
This seems like a multi-day thing, though.
Well, like I said, we don't have to worry about the quartermaster, and maybe the trailblazer helps us decide on the right direction. But the scout is what I'm thinking would be really helpful.
Yeah, so the full mechanics by this is each person when we're undertaking the people who have jobs, the 3 people who have jobs, all roll a wisdom check to see what happens on the perilous journey. We can't just have one of them, we need all 3. So
say we only have one, we can assign
we can choose not to assign a job. I was just double checking the rules.
Yeah, and that job happens, but it takes a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to leverage that as you head into these ruins, that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, I don't know what happens if they roll a 6 as far as like rations are concerned, or the amount of time it takes to go.
You won't have to worry about rations. We're going to condense the time to something more localized.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, Brad definitely agrees with Judy. She's always been a good scout. She could do this.
Thanks, Brad. It's the big eyes.
And the beautifulest.
Jane's gonna give Judy finger guns.
Sort of stares at Judy.
You'd probably be a good scout, too.
Not much agility, though. As Trundle is in a circle and almost weebles over.
All right, so Looks like the scout does a roll plus wisdom. Okay. So with a 9,
Give me 1 second.
I'm gonna give her one of those tokens. Give me my inspiration token, whatever, to give her a +1.
adversity token to push you into a 10. Alright. So on a 10 plus, the scout will spot any trouble quick enough to let you get the drop on it. Not a bad thing considering where you are and what you know. Alright, so after we're having a quick little consultation, Judy, you move to the front of the group and begin creeping on ahead as your union falls into step behind you. A respectable distance, just far enough away that they don't draw attention to you, but you all remain within eyesight of each other. And you head into the ruined city. As you move in through the large stone arches, you see interesting little signs kind of scattered about. You catch sight of a abandoned goblin body, much like the body you saw in the first cavern. You see signs of things that have been gathered in like doorways, kind of like pieces of fur and scraps of leather and other just odds and ends, really. All signs of life that shouldn't exist in a stone ruin this far underground. And as you approach a courtyard, you hear tittering voices, scratches and occasional hisses, and you press yourself up against the side of the building and peek out. And you see in the middle of this courtyard is a little camp. There's a fire pit with a very unimpressive little fire burning. There's a couple tattered bedrolls scattered around. And there are 4 creatures gathered around it. They are all of the size of a goblin, maybe a little larger, but because of the way their legs are bent and their hunched stature, they appear very of a size or smaller. They have long, furless tails, the rest of their bodies covered in scrappy fur and pieces of clothing that look just kind of like tossed together and stitched together where they can, more like robes than anything else. They have a long, muzzle-like snout, a large nose, and 2 rather sharp-looking buck teeth poking out from the front of their muzzles. One of them is kind of standing and stalking around. It looks like they're having a conversation, just kind of arguing with each other. You can see that they're armed with... they all appear to be armed with daggers. And with your successful roll, you see them from your corner of the building, and they have no idea that you're there.
Alright, go back to party. I think I found him.
How many are we looking at?
Good job, Judy.
I don't know, a bunch.
Alright. Good job, everybody. Let's get back.
I think we can take them.
Oh, right, Judy. Oh, I've been waiting to hear that all day. Take his axe out.
There's like 3 or 4.
Four of them, 5 of us. That's
That's real
like
good
twice
odds.
as many. Yeah.
You want to light him on fire, Jane Doe?
Yes.
Jane is already reaching in her dress on her side for one of her bottles.
Perfect.
So we just go in fire and brimstone and screaming.
Why not? We got the element of surprise on our hands. Might as well do a little shock and awe while we're at it.
All right. The Delvers are gearing up for battle.
Gearing up for battle, and I need a little bit of guidance from the foreman on this one. We've got basic moves, and we've got starting moves. When it comes to combat, we've got a thing called defend. It's when you stand in defense of someone, you get to, let's see.
So
you stand in defense of
a... that this falls under, I believe, is defy danger.
Okay, I was just curious about how.
Oh no, hack and slash.
Okay.
Also, I'm sorry, Bug, if you're seeing your thing move. I'm using that to check my stuff.
Fine.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, I wasn't sure what the order of operations was when it comes to the basic moves and then the starting moves.
So this system does not even have an initiative feature. So we're going to just roughly do one because it makes it easier when you're interacting with a group online to coordinate. The rough guidance we're going to go with, since there's no restrictions, is your turn's going to last about 6 seconds. Whatever you can do in 6 seconds is allowed.
Max, come here.
But we'll say that you can only take do a particular move only once. So like you can attack, but you can't just do like 6 attacks in a row.
Got it.
It'll be loose. If something doesn't work, we'll figure it out. We will use your tokens to keep track of initiative on the side of the screen here. I think everyone can just roll a dexterity check, and we'll use that number to discern where you are in the order of things.
Max, come here.
You can just ignore any complications. They do not apply to initiative.
Max, come here. Thank you.
Oh, that was a maximum dice roll.
Oh, yeah.
Who on earth the last one?
And for curiosity's sake, I have a +0 to dexterity in case anybody ties.
All right, so in addition, we're going to handle the idea of a surprise like this. It's not a full surprise round. The first person who acts will have, I'm going to call it advantage, but you're basically going to roll 3 dice and keep the highest 2. You can choose who you would like to launch the attack, and the turn order will begin from them moving forward.
I imagine Jane would be first if she's throwing fire.
Up to the party to negotiate who you would like to get this advantage.
Well, looks like Judy won. Then she got the high roll, unless, because Jane Doe has an 8.
13 for me.
Oh, you had a 13? Oh, I didn't see you post it in the chat. That's
No, it's posted in chat. Did I not?
No,
Yeah.
nope.
Is
Is
it?
it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I just heard Rob say that he got a max roll.
Am I in
You
Viz?
might not be on public roll.
Oh man, I've been okay. Sorry. How do I make this reveal to everyone? There we go. It should be above Brad's.
There we
Sorry
go.
about
Yep,
that.
now I can see it.
I was
I was
like,
like,
explains a
yeah.
lot.
I thought you said you had max roll, but then I was like, I don't see him anywhere.
That explains a lot. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, so it's your choice who goes first.
So, FYI, I do have a poison that lets anyone dealing damage to the target roll twice as money and take the better result.
You can poison your weapons or poison other people's weapons?
I can poison. It's not very specific.
I'm going to say you can poison anyone's weapons.
Okay.
Can't you poison my magic missiles?
I don't think we can poison magic.
I mean, if she throws her bottles right in front of my magic missiles will go through them and they're wet. It's poison. Does that count?
I don't think we
arrows.
can poison arrows. I don't think I can poison a force.
How much distance is between the party and the script? Is it
It's non-defined, so
is it reasonable that if we charge that Jane Doe could throw a fireball overhead and we could leap into the fallout following?
Totally. Just so you know how the combat works, I'm going to see how this balances out. I don't have turns. All the turns are for you guys, and whenever you score a failure, that means the enemy hits you. If you score a partial success, you take reduced damage, but you get to do damage to them.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I think fireballing them first would be the move. And then follow initiative from there.
Alternatively, if we have boost abilities, like I've got bless, can I do that in the surprise round and to boost either Jane Doe or?
Yeah, you guys, they don't know that you're here, so if you want to take a moment to, like, boost and buff before you launch your attacks, then that's perfectly fine.
But would I also get that best 2 out of 3 dice?
No, that would apply to the first attack made against the group.
I'm going to roll for my burning brand.
Ooh, conjure a weapon of pure flame.
Given some of my rolls, most of my rolls, I think I'm gonna hold off on the plus.
Okay.
Just because, like, I don't want to, like, be. They're changing shapes. They're over there, line dancing.
Alright, I rolled a 7 with no pluses. So I'm going to put a throne tag on it.
Okay.
So in one hand, as she's holding this corked bottle of what you can only imagine is oil or something, Jane conjures a throwing axe, just made of pure fire, and she's just holding it at the ready.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my bow and arrows ready.
Alrighty. Any other preparatory spells anyone would like to do?
I'm getting ready to magic missile, but that can all be done in my turn. Or when it goes through.
Yeah,
All right.
stuff until turns in general.
All right. So it sounds like Jane Doe is going to launch initiative with an attack.
All right, she's going to step up. I think there's actually a thing for this. When you... Okay, yeah, volley. So I'm gonna roll. So she's going to rear back and throw the bottle at one of the creatures. Late and then rear back and throw the fiery axe, so that immediately when the bottle hits, the axe turns and breaks it.
Okay, trying to do splash damage.
Volley, I rolled an 8, 7 to 9. Choose whichever you choose to deal your damage.
Did you roll 3 dice for the volley attack, or just 2?
Just 2. So
You're supposed to roll another one and take best 2.
So that turns into an 11.
Perfect. You have a clear shot to deal your damage. So this is going to explode a bottle of, you said it was oil?
Correct.
All right, burning oil. Yeah, so what I'm going to say, you hurl the bottle at them, you hurl the fiery axe, hits the bottle, explodes, and the fiery oil splashes forward against 2 of the Skrit gathered around their campsite. We are going to add some damage, and we're going to split that damage between them. So it looks like the damage for your class is a D8. We're gonna add a D6 on top of that. So roll a D8 and a D6.
So that's a 10 in total.
10 total? All right, we're going to say you do 5 damage to both of the Skrit.
Nice.
All right, 2 of the Skrit immediately let out screeching screams as they catch fire. Their oily fur pretty much going up in flames immediately. They immediately turn towards the source of the fireball, just as the Delvers begin their attack. So since that kicked off the round, let's see. So the way I said it before, I'm going to put this to you guys live. The way I said it before, I said that the round would begin with whoever follows after Jane. But since that was technically the surprise round, we can just start from highest to lowest. Which would you all prefer?
Let's start from highest to lowest.
Yeah, standard initiative. That okay with everyone?
Fine with me.
Sure.
All right. So that means, Chad, you are the first one able to act.
Okay. I've got a barbarian move called What Are You Waiting For? You cry out a challenge to your enemies, you roll plus con. On a 10 plus, they treat me as the most obvious threat to be dealt with and ignore my companions. I also take plus 2 damage from their attacks if they hit.
Okay. So because I mentioned that I would not be doing any rolling myself, how this is going to manifest is that if one of your allies scores a failure and would otherwise take damage from a Skrit, that Skrit will instead attack you.
Got it. I actually have to succeed, so let's roll and roll high. 11. Okay, cool. I'm threatening. Have at you, you beautiful bastards! I'm gonna charge, and I'm going to hack and slash at the first one I come across.
All right. Question: when you hover over the script, do you guys see names for them?
No,
I do not.
we're not DMs.
Nope.
That's a shame because the system auto-generated a bunch of tags for them. So you're facing off the thoughtful script, the Zen script, the suspicious script, and the tense script.
One moment.
But yeah, you can always just click.
Hey!
Always for everyone.
Just ignore those numbers by them. I don't know. That's probably the order I created them in.
Which
two got fucked up?
Zen and suspicious.
Okay.
I'll go after... Zen's already hurt, so I'll go after Zen. And I will roll hack and slash it, and I will hopefully roll high. That's an 8.
All right, so that is a partial success. That means the Zen script gets to do, I'm going to say half of his damage to you as you damage him. So he's doing that. Oh, geez. Okay. He's on fire and is not doing so well, so he manages to stab you for 1 damage.
All right, so since I have an armor of 2, does that reduce that to 0?
Well, you take 2 damage more because you are taunting all of them.
Oh.
So it becomes 3. Your armor is 2, so you take 1 damage.
1 damage, got it. Cool. So that's the basic move and run and attack, and I think that's all that the Chad can get done in 6 seconds.
Yeah, that feels about right. All right. Judy, you're up. Yeah, I was about to say we're using the tokens for initiative, so don't...
Yeah, maybe not.
You can move them forward, just keep them in line.
Alright, so... I think I have a bow and arrow, but I'm not 100% sure where to even look on this thing.
Bow and arrow? And we just say that you have it, and then the attack action is called volley.
Okay.
And you also have that poison ability, right?
I do. So that's what I'm planning on, tipping an arrow and using the poison.
Cool. Does it require a roll, or is you just do it?
Choose a poison from the list below. That poison is no longer dangerous for you to use. You can start with 3 uses of the poison you choose. Whenever you have time to gather materials and a safe place to brew, you can make 3 more uses of the poisons you choose for free.
Okay, yeah, it's just automatically applied.
So I'm going to use Serpent Tears, which is touch. Anyone dealing damage to the target rolls twice and takes the better result.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to go for Zen.
Alright, shooting at Zen. Alright, with a 9. Let's see. Alright, those are... I like that it prompts you with some potential drawbacks. The ammo one kind of sucks since we're not tracking ammo. But what are your thoughts? What's the drawback you expect?
I'm going to be put in a kind of dangerous position.
Oh, you got arrows in your equipment?
Yeah, but we're not really tracking ammo for one
shot.
Okay. Yeah.
Was that the better of the 2 rolls, or does that do that automatically?
Oh no, she has to hit. It's after anyone attacking her target after she hits them.
Oh.
So it is a partial success. You were attacking the Zen Scrit, right?
Yeah.
All right, so at the top of your sheet, it'll say how much damage you do. It's a dice that you get to roll.
Six.
6 is actually enough to kill the Zen Scrit. As you shoot an arrow through his eye, but we'll say that you had to move forward to try and get that shot off. And since that is a partial success, we're going to say that the thoughtful Scrit charged forward to try and retaliate against you. Now, Chad would have been taunting him, but I'm going to say that your drawback puts you in the way of the attack. So, unfortunately, this one doesn't get taunted, and the damage is done to you.
Okay.
All right, that is 4 piercing damage. Do you have armor?
My armor is 0, so no.
All right, you take 4 damage. All right, a little bit of movement, some dipping in poison, a great shot killing the Zen Scrit. Anything else you're looking to do on your turn?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Jane, you're up.
Oh, even though I went first? Oh, with the surprise?
Yeah, that was the ambush round.
Oh, okay. So which of these scrits are on fire?
Suspicious Scrit.
Suspicious. I'm going to use Zuko style. Alright. I put my hands together and then move them across, quickly move them away from each other vertically, trying to make the fire on it grow to be like a blazing column. With a with an 8,
Yeah.
it only lasts a bit, so it like flashes tall before it sputters back down.
Okay, this is still going to be damage. So go ahead and roll your damage. The suspicious Scrit being set on fire and seeing you move forward to set him on fire. He wants to retaliate you, but the bigger target here is Chad over there. So he's going to try to fling his dagger at Chad as a result of your partial success. Also, Judy, gain 2 health back because on a partial failure, you only take half damage from the enemy.
Okie dokie.
All right. All right, so this is going to be coming at you, Chad. He rolled a 2. Plus 2 because he's attacking you is a 4. You take half damage, which becomes a 2. And your armor is a 2, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of his daggers just kind of like clinks off of your shield.
Haha! Well played. Throwing things, that's real clever like.
All right, Jane, anything else with your turn?
Yeah, I would actually like to see if I can throw one of the burning axes to the script that just attacked Chad.
Okay, that's the same one that you ignited with Zuko style.
Okay, that'd be perfectly fine with me.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Ability and then attack.
Okay.
Okay.
I will take what I can get and reduce that damage.
All right, so roll your damage and then minus 1d6. Oddly enough, still might be enough to kill this guy before he retaliates.
It's a -4.
-4, not quite enough to kill him before he retaliates.
All right. So I've got one X ready, flares back to life, but that's what I've got. That would be my whole turn.
So I'm going to say that because of that partial success, this script rushes forward, and having already been taunted by Chad once, this time he's going for you. So he will deal -1 because he only has one dagger instead of 2, 1 piercing damage to you. They're just little daggers.
1 damage, but where is it?
Armor?
No. When I took a hit.
Oh, you've got a thing that reacts.
Yeah. Basically, it's only 1 damage, so I can roll to undo the damage.
Oh yeah.
I
Fighting fire with fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No damage.
Okay, no damage. You're good. Next up is Bug's turn.
So Bug is going to drop off their lantern off the end of their staff. Almost looks like they were gonna like brandish the staff with the lantern on the end, but no, leave that there. Oddly enough, when they put it down, it goes out.
Okay.
Then he's going to cast magic weapon on said staff. Let's see how badly this goes. That's not.
Ooh.
Wrong button. That's the damage button.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, you got to invoke the magic first.
That's the spell. Everything's different.
Nuisance says.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. You're gonna bonk a scrit with a magical staff? Yeah, the nuisance is down for this.
I think I'm gonna untense the tense spread. Gonna waddle up and just bonk him on the nose.
Ah! Alright, so this is going to be a proper attack action.
Alright. I
Straightforward
waddle up
success.
and I bonk them on the nose with a +2 damage.
Alright, go ahead and roll your damage. At the top of your sheet, it should tell you how much damage your class does.
7 damage.
Not bad.
Skip. Crit.
I mean, do you want to do another 1d6?
I mean, I could.
What would be the additional d6 from?
Success. Bug has the option to choose to add another 1d6 damage, but expose themselves.
Okay, so since that's an option, I didn't realize that was an option on successful attacks. Good noticing. So with that option, you nearly brain this guy. If you get enough damage in, he will not be able to retaliate against you.
I will take the extra d6.
Okay, risk the attack.
I don't know if the 2 damage go. No, it's not another attack. So another 5 damage to the tense crit.
That is enough to thoroughly untense the tense crit. He no longer has to worry about such simple things as, being alive.
So ironically, the suspicious crit watches this little ball of white trundle up to his buddy and bop him on the nose with a stick, which kills his buddy. And the little bundle of white just kind of rotates and stares at him.
Suspicious crit is technically on fire too, so he's not having a great time. All right. Spell, moving, hack and slashing.
That observation.
Seems pretty good. And you all set for your turn?
Yep.
All right. Next person, it is Brad.
Brad is going to cast a spell.
Invoke that magic.
Always.
Just double check.
Unfortunately, my sheet didn't have the cast spell on it, so I'm just gonna roll another in check with the spout lore, but trust me, it's gonna be spell. So yay, 11! That is fantastic. Okay. So I'm casting magic missile, and because I rolled a 10 or above, double checking, making sure I've got this right. I've only looked at this 5 fucking times. I'm going to use Empowered Magic, which is my advanced move. Which I can choose to make it a 7 to a 9 to gain an additional effect. And that additional effect is the spell's targets are double. So I'm going to have my magic missile hit both of the fuckers.
Okay.
And on a 7 to 9 to cast a spell. Yeah, I'm gonna go with draw unwelcome attention. And my positioning just puts me in a bad spot to possibly be the focus of their attacks instead of Ugly Chad, who has been doing such a wonderful job so far.
Okay.
And let me roll that beautiful beam footage. 7 damage to both, unless you want me to roll separately for both.
Deal 2d4 to one target. Yeah, roll separately for both.
Okay, 7 to 1. The 7's going to go to the thoughtful, the 6 is going to go to suspicious.
Okay, the 6 is enough to kill the suspicious script. And you mentioned taking up bad positioning, so the thoughtful script is going to stab you back in response. All right, and that is a you got partial, so that's halved. That is going to be 1 piercing damage.
So I have 1 armor, so it's canceled out, right?
That is canceled out.
Okay. Sweet.
I go.
Oh wait, it didn't go in. And then I am going to do aid to Judy. Which will give her a +1 to her next roll if I success. So I'm exposed to danger again.
Yeah, you mocked that script for missing you, so he's going to spin around and swipe his tail against your face. For another 1 damage.
Hits my
hat.
I have to grab it.
Oh.
Not
my hat.
You've got
this, Judy. Go get him.
Thanks, Brad.
You're
welcome, Judy.
The amount of thanks, Brad, in this game. All right, that's a pretty good turn for the wizard, I'd say. You all set?
Yeah,
that's my turn. I'm not gonna try to put anything else in here. That's a good 6 seconds.
All right, Angelica, rounding us out.
Alright, I'm gonna shoot with my bow at the last guy.
Yeah, your Union of Delvers have been pretty efficient in attacking this band of Skrit.
So what do I roll for that?
So this would be a volley move, which I believe is, I believe you can click on volley to do it.
Yeah, if you mouse over the picture, there you go.
Oh no.
Oh, I suck.
Anyone have adversity tokens?
I have one, so let me give it to him.
A 7 would be enough to push it into a partial success. All right, so with an adversity token, Jellica, you managed to do your damage to the Thoughtful Spritz, and he is going to retaliate by attacking Chad.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
hit the ugly one.
Yeah, punch me in the gob.
Oh my god.
It's kind of like tap my face a little bit, make a smooch at him.
Invaders must kill invaders. Yes, yes.
All right, go ahead and roll your damage. Your damage is at the top of the page. It's based on your class. All right, 6 is good. And then figuring out the damage to Chad. I don't know how I even damaged you the first time with these numbers.
Silent Coin Tap Room and has removable ceilings.
Yeah, I don't know how I damaged you the.
Oh no, they're doing a cumulative. They're doing a +2 damage to me every time they hit.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like I must have done like a total of 6 damage to you to get the 1 damage through, because with half damage happening on
Plus the
partial
first-
successes.
The first time wasn't.
We got those
It
guys.
was a straight retaliation. to
Oh, but they're on
Chad,
stands.
like-
Ah. Okay. Okay, that would make some sense then.
Oh, right, because it's partial. That should be half damage that's aimed at me. So 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, like I
+2.
need a 6 to hit you, because 6 halved is 3, your armor's 2, so that's the only way you can take 1 damage. Which is actually that's pretty potent. Anyway, that Thoughtful Scrit, like he threw his dagger at you, Chad, and you just catch it on your shield again, like the Chad you are. And Jellica, your arrow punctures him kind of in his gaping, yeah, I'm gonna say like right down his gullet as he's screeching, and he chokes and falls over dead.
I'm dead.
Good night, sweet prince.
And the 4 Scrit around the little watch fire are now just lying there dead. Congratulations, you killed some monsters.
James going to use Zuko style again, just to make the one of the ones that are still on fire, like, just actually start burning and cremating.
Formidable foes. I mentioned being concerned about intruders. There's probably more. We should lay low. As I watch the column flame rise toward the ceiling of the cave.
Yep.
that it's a bonfire.
Combat is like a bonfire.
Why are you doing with the flame?
I told
I told you not.
You're gonna
bring them more.
Let them come.
We
surprise these ones. We don't want to bring them down a whole horde.
We gotta do
We
this
gotta do this the smart way.
That makes sense.
How do you
How do you
think
think
Judy and I have lived
so long?
As she squashes it with a huff.
There are now like 2.5 Scrit, like one corpse is completely gone, one is like partially burnt. Hell, the one that was burnt to a crisp, there's just like bones behind.
Yeah, so Chad's gonna poke at some crispy critters and see what the scout says to do next.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have anything cool, inflammable.
Chad just wants to know if he can eat them.
I mean, one of them's already half cooked.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Then again, like these creatures, they don't look super healthy. Like their fur's kind of patchy, they're kind of greasy. Like, yeah, you could eat it. Might not be the best meat you've ever had. But you get to say that you have partaken of scrit.
This is probably going to be gamey.
Jane's going to cut off a grit tail and put it in her cleavage.
Souvenir.
Yes.
You cut into it and it triggers a muscle and it spasms under your hand.
It's not weird at all.
Right, anyone doing anything else with the script bodies?
Nope.
To be sure, she would have like checked. Are there any like? She only cares about liquids and like certain powders. So anything flammable or poisonous, she would like take. She doesn't care about weapons.
Okay, I'm going to say... that on the leader, the one that had been like stalking around, he had a vial of some kind of green viscous substance that has a curious smell. Probably not something that would be eaten or drank. If you knew someone who was good with poisons, they might be able to help identify this for you. And I'm going to say that you find 2 water skins that are filled with some kind of liquid that absolutely reeks. Like it's some kind of alcohol, but it's bad alcohol.
That's the most flammable kind. Good to know. Yoink.
You've cleared out the little watch squad in the open courtyard of the ruined city. As you look around, there are a bunch of there are alleyways and roads that lead deeper into the city. At first glance, it's difficult to tell which direction to move toward. But as you ponder a direction to take, I think that's going to where we're going to end part 1 of this little goblin adventure.
All right. Just in time to get the